Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. I have no idea. Today we
think it's September.
Is it September? Wake me when September comes.
I was just going to say
that. Today we have a great guest. Her name's Kate Anderson, and she is one of the co-founders of iFundWomen, which is an amazing organization that is a crowdfunding platform for female entrepreneurs. And in addition to that, they do all sorts of coaching and training and professional video production. And they're doing amazing grants for women who are affected by COVID-19. So welcome, Kate. We're so glad you're here. And if anybody has any questions, shoot them out in the comments.
Hi, everybody. Kate Anderson here. It's so nice to see you all. Think that you're here with us.
We're so glad you're here. And it couldn't be a more important bit of work you guys are doing with iFundWomen at this time in the world, especially. So why don't you tell everybody, assume nobody listening knows anything about you, and tell them about iFundWomen.
Yeah, so iFundWomen is the go-to marketplace for women entrepreneurs and the people who want to fund them. We provide women with access to capital through rewards-based crowdfunding and grants, community through a digital online community of female entrepreneurs, all at the same stage as you, and the coaching that women need to really grow and accelerate their businesses. We know that it is that women need more than just capital or coaching or community. Those three pieces really help to create a holistic solution to help women accelerate the growth of their businesses.
So great.
Excellent. And
so why did you, sorry, go ahead, Amy.
Go ahead, Amy.
No, go.
I was just going to say, tell us how that has been affected by what's going on in the world right now in COVID-19.
So in general, women have come to iFundWomen because they have a business idea that they want to launch, or they have a business that they want to scale. We at iFundWomen have seen changes in a lot of ways. First and foremost, we have had brands coming to us, and I'll just pause. Are you guys hearing an echo on me?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Maybe just turn your volume down a little bit.
Yeah. We are. Let's see.
That's better. Thank you.
Okay, good. We are seeing female entrepreneurs come to iFundWomen to launch campaigns to keep the lights on, not just to grow or scale their businesses. They are turning to their communities. And one thing we've said, it's Brene Brown said, but we're copying it or regurgitating it, is that compassionate people ask for what they need. And I think we've all felt with COVID, like our hands are tied behind our back. There's not a lot we can do to help. There's not a lot we can do to alleviate what's going on besides staying home and supporting small businesses. That's what we see, right? This is having both a huge health effect and a huge economic effect. And in order to keep small businesses alive, we need to be supporting them with our dollars, which then leads me to the next reason people are coming to iFundWomen, which is a really exciting reason, is we have awesome companies like Adidas and Visa and Gingerbread Capital right now that are coming to iFundWomen to give grants to the entrepreneurs on our platform. They each have their own investment guidelines that they're choosing people from. But they realize that we cannot count on the federal government to be bailing out every business, and that a lot of those bailouts or help needs to come from corporate America and needs to come from venture capital firms like Gingerbread Capital. We're really excited about that. And I really do want to give a plug for this because the applications close tomorrow. Gingerbread Capital is giving away 10K grants to 25 entrepreneurs. This is a huge opportunity. That's a lot of money. And I highly recommend you go to iFundWomen and check that out. That's like my only big plug because applications close tomorrow night. So I want to make sure as many people get in and don't hear that, oh man, I missed that opportunity. And then the third thing that people are coming to iFundWomen for is our coaching, as I think that people realize the unemployment number is 30 million people. And those are people that have lost their jobs, not people that are underemployed or whose salaries got cut. People are going to need alternate sources of income. They're going to turn to entrepreneurship. And in order to do that, we kind of have this gift right now of time. That's the only gift that's come out of this. And they are looking to iFundWomen to help coach them on becoming an entrepreneur, on what they don't know, what they need to learn. And so they're really flocking to us. People are flocking to us in those 3 ways.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you, if you turn your volume down a little bit more, can you still hear me talking?
Probably.
I'm still getting a little bit of an echo, excuse me, on you. I just want to make
Does
sure.
that sound better? No.
Talk a little bit longer if you don't mind.
I feel like I still have an echo.
Are you wearing headphones?
I just took them off. I was wearing them.
Yeah.
I
almost feel like it might be better without the headphones.
I think so.
Sorry, everybody. We just wanted to be able to
No, sorry about that.
perfectly. No, it's fine. These things happen.
Audio.
It's not horrible. I just want,
Let's try. I disabled audio processing. Does that sound better?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me see if it works with my headphones better.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not hearing an echo.
I'm not.
Perfect. Yay. Technology. We've all learned so much in the last few months, haven't we?
It's true.
Every minute of every day. So what do you find? Like, tell us about some of the women that, some of the projects that are on your platform that are trying to get funding. Like, just tell us about kind of the human element of iFundWomen.
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of projects. So we have people both. I took them off because I could hear an echo. So we have people both raising money to launch businesses. We have an amazing campaign out of Boston by a young woman in college, Sarah, who launched a company called Hold That that's creating affordable suits for women that graduate from college, right? So you have like an interview. You don't want to spend $500 or $1,000 on a suit. So she's creating suits that are about $200. They're really awesome. She's raised $15K so far. So we have like awesome people launching campaigns like that. Then we have people launching campaigns that are really specific to COVID, that are keeping the lights on for their business, that are providing food for people in need. We've had a campaign that previously had a campaign on iFundWomen for a clothing line and is pivoting to creating face covers, like so many people. We had a place called Page One Books that was a literary matchmaker. They kind of like a book of the month club, but they were sending specific books based on what you'd be interested in. Their business had to shut down, so they actually had reopened a crowdfunding campaign they did 2 years ago to really get people supporting her and keeping her business alive. And she had raised like $10,000 from people, which is so awesome. We have people having businesses that are putting food into the hands of people who need, co-working spaces that are pivoting to virtual spaces. So it really runs the gamut. And we're seeing campaigns from all over the country, right? Because we are all affected by this.
Yeah. That's interesting. I remember. Oops. You can hear. I can hear me through your computer now, Kate. So you might need to turn down your volume.
Okay.
Cool. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Oh, still a little bit there, but that's okay. I remember when we interviewed you, you were talking about that crowd. I don't know if it's the same crowdfunding. I mean, same shared workspace. But that was, you had mentioned a shared workspace specifically as one of your kind of.
Yeah, we've had a lot of co-working spaces on iFundWomen. So no, they've been new ones now, but it really is like just awesome to see people, their ability to pivot so quickly to stay alive.
Yeah, amazing. We have a comment from Rashida Lawson Hall who says, I love iFundWomen. I'm learning how to best position my message from their learning pool.
I love that. I'm so glad to hear that. We have a lot of free resources on iFundWomen and our crowdfunding hub on how to best message what your business is, how to be compassionate in pitching. That's a huge thing right now. I think that we really strongly believe you should be pitching your business if you want to stay in business. You should be selling your business if you want to continue to have a business, but you don't want to be tone deaf to what's going on right now. So really having clear and strong messaging makes a huge difference in how people think about you and feel about you and how they want to support you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's hard right now as a business owner. You know, people are struggling, so you don't want to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. But it goes back to my kind of like last point that Brene Brown made nicer than me, which is compassionate people ask for what they need. Your audience might want to help, but they don't know how to help. And I think of there's a company that helps people who are sick by setting up a website where you can deliver food to them. I think something like that is so empowering that people say, you know, if they know someone that's dealing with an illness, they want to help, but sometimes asking like, oh, what can I do to help feels tone deaf or feels empty. If someone says specifically like, oh, you'd like to help, here's how you can. I'm raising money on iFundWomen. I'm raising $10,000 to keep the lights on or to pay my employees for another month or whatever it is. Like that helps. And maybe the person can get $5. That's all they can afford to give. Or maybe they can just share it. And that feels good to be able to just do something to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, people are still buying people birthday presents. They're still acknowledging Mother's Day, and it may not be in such a lavish way as they were before, but there's still these moments. And I think where you're coming from, we're finding women still want to support women-owned businesses and small businesses.
Yeah.
You know, I think if they're going to buy something, unless it's like I have to order it from Amazon because it's the only way it's going to get here, then you know, a lot of people are trying to figure out how to support local businesses, small businesses, women, minority owned.
Yeah.
You know, so in one way, it's a very good time from our point of view, for those kind of businesses.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So the other thing I love about iFundWomen is that you actually have a pay it forward model.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, this is like we've started this since the beginning of iFundWomen, and we just calculated the math, and we've paid out something like it was over $50,000 that we've paid forward to female entrepreneurs. So huge sums of money. But we have at the end of every month, iFundWomen takes a 5% fee of any amount of money that people raise on iFundWomen. That's how we make money. Then we take 20% of those 5% fees and we directly reinvest them to live campaigns on the site. It's our way to pay for the revenue that we're making from campaigns. We do it at the beginning of every month, and it's just a great way to get money into the hands of female entrepreneurs. And then we've been so lucky to have amazing people like Andrea Mullen of Victory PR and Allie McCartney. These are amazing women, I'll just reiterate that again, who are matching our Pay It Forward grant. So they're coming to us with their own money to say, I love what you're doing. I want to get money into the hands of female entrepreneurs. Can I contribute to Pay It Forward so that it gives women even more money? And that we're the only crowdfunding platform that does something like this. And it's just another way that we're saying we're committing to women on iFundWomen.
Great. Yeah. How did you initially get involved with iFundWomen? Kind of tell the backstory for the
Yeah. So my two co-founders, Karen Kahn, our CEO, and Sarah Summers, and I worked at another startup together. It was a video production platform for female entrepreneurs. And we loved it. It was a fun and cool business, and nobody else liked it. And it was such a great learning lesson for us because it was a learning lesson it was so it was more than just video production platform. It was a video communication platform, almost like a YouTube for women where women would connect with each other over video. It was built so perfectly, like really robust, had every bell and whistle, but like people weren't coming to it organically. We kept it so secret when we launched it. We really wanted to make sure that it was perfect before we put it out there. And then we realized nobody wanted it. And nobody wanted it at that time. And we didn't drum up early supporters. We didn't get people excited about that. We didn't have beta testers, all of those things. So what we realized was we needed to pivot. So we, as a last-ditch effort, we did a Kickstarter campaign to save our business. And through that, we realized that there was this really big market opportunity to create a crowdfunding platform that specifically met the needs of female entrepreneurs. we ourselves wanted a platform where we knew that we were supporting female creative projects and couldn't find that. So we built our own, and we built it as a simple MVP with 25 beta testers, and to see, like, do people want this? What did they want as a part of it? And we knew that it wasn't just crowdfunding, it wasn't just capital, it was coaching, it was community, it was connections. That all of these four pieces are essential to women launching and growing their businesses. As you all know, like, men have been doing this for decades. These relationships are strong and solid for them. The business world was built by and for men. Same with the entrepreneurial world. It is not meeting the needs of women. So instead of complaining about that or not being satisfied, we built something that would meet the needs of women, that was providing on-demand coaching, that was providing beautiful video production services, because we know that if we feel really good about a product that's coming out and how we're represented visually, we will feel more confident going out to market with it. We know that pitch honing is so important. Like, I talk to so many women every day and hear their pitches, and the number of times I say, like, hold on, let's really work on a strong pitch, because if whenever you're telling people about your business, it's unclear what you're doing, you're putting yourself down, you're not super excited about it, that's the vibe that you're going to give to people. So what we want to do is, like, before women start raising money, is give them the tools that they need to be able to do so successfully in a way that they feel confident in, and in a way that they're, like, fully prepared.
Yeah. So you also have a mentorship program, right?
So we have a coaching program that pairs you up with people based on what specifically you need. And then we have a Slack community of all different female entrepreneurs that are likely at the same stage that you are, that are all working together.
Oh, great. Do you have any, like, favorite stories of people that you've seen just kind of completely transform from that first pitch call to getting funding?
Yeah, we have so many stories. We have that's a great question. I think really the biggest thing with the pitch is really driving it home to people that they need to come across excited about their business. And that, so I had a call actually the other day, this is a great question, with a woman who was creating a business that was helping people match them with local hairstylists if they're traveling abroad. So let's say you're going to Paris, you want to get your hair done, and it was targeted towards women of color, but you want to get your hair done and you need somebody who knows how to do women of color's hair and also who's like a local person. And she was telling me about it, and I said, like, that's such a great idea. Let's really work on your pitch. And she was like, well, it's just specific for women of color. I said, no, it's not. First of all, it's specific to every hairdresser. Like, you need to make sure that the pitch is interesting and exciting to everybody, because you might say the pitch to a man and he says, oh my gosh, like, my cousin is a hairdresser in Paris. I would love to make this connection so my cousin could be a hairdresser on your platform. Or this is relevant for me, actually. Like, when I've traveled abroad, I've wanted to find somebody local to cut my hair. Sometimes your target market is, you don't want to exclude people from the process. And so you want to pitch for people that's 15 seconds. It gets them in, tells them clearly and concisely what you do. And then for people that follow up, you want to have more information, like when they're interested, to be able to answer those questions. But you should be able to tell everybody, from like someone at church to someone at your kid's soccer game to anytime you're hopping on a Zoom call, when someone says, oh, you ask a question, say, oh, by the way, I'm Kate Anderson. This is my business. I'm feeling really stuck here. But as much as you can say it, you're going to get the word out about your business. Like, you are your own billboard. So be sure to tell everybody what your business is and what you do, so that you never miss an opportunity to find a potential customer, investor, advisor, anything.
Yeah,
where do you think most people get stuck?
I think the pitch is a big place that they get stuck. That seems to be like the number, really slows people down. Figuring out the right amount of money. I find that in every other aspect of life, I would tell people to ask for more, because like you'll probably land somewhere less than what you were going to ask for before. But in crowdfunding, the best process is to ask for the minimum amount of money you need to get your business off the ground. When people ask for really high goals, what happens is it deters their audience from contributing to their campaign. So you might say, well, what I need is 10,000, but I'll just ask for 100. How great would it be if I got it? But it's only going to work if you're really hustling, if you have a huge network. So setting a goal that's too high is definitely like a stumbling block for people. I think a lot of people really freeze up with asking for money, and say, I don't want to ask my friends and family for money. Like, what if they say no? And we just really try to shift it as like, what if they say yes? What if they were upset that you didn't give them the opportunity to participate in it? How are you going to fund it? You know, like really sit down and say, what are the other options out there? So the options we know are bootstrapping. And for people who don't know, bootstrapping means like you're paying for things from your own savings, your own money. And typically that's how people start off a business. Then it could be a loan or credit card debt are very common. And we really believe you shouldn't go into debt funding the earliest days of your startup. What we love so much about crowdfunding is it allows you to test product market fit. If you have an idea, you're creating, this is an idea of my grandma's, and I actually think it's a brilliant idea, is to create individual shoes, like let's say Converse, like individual, so you could buy one Converse, because what if you lost one, or what if you have two different sizes of shoes? It's a really good idea. And she wrote to Converse about it, which I kind of love. But so let's say that's your idea, and you go out and you do a crowdfunding campaign, and nobody likes it. You promote the heck out of it, you share it with everybody, but nobody likes it. Disappointing? Totally. Embarrassing? 100%. Expensive? Nope. Right? Like you're not losing any money doing it. What would be really miserable is you go out, you have that idea, you don't tell anybody about it, you're so precious. Like, what if someone steals this idea? What if they take it? It's so brilliant. You go out, you spend tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, like figuring out how to execute this, and nobody wants it. And now you have to pay the manufacturing company, you have to pay the, whatever, all the different layers, the people that you hired. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. That's like upsetting, disappointing, and expensive. And what we know is that crowdfunding can also let you know, like, is this a good idea or not? Are the people beyond like your best friend and your mom giving you feedback that this doesn't make sense? Or have you thought about this idea? Like crowdfunding also allows you to have almost like a big market research sample. If people are into it right away and they get it, it's a good idea. If people have no idea and don't get it at all, maybe you need to work on it. Maybe your idea that you're so excited about is not the right idea. Maybe you're talking to the wrong customer. Like it allows you time to reset and to be able to think strategically about the path that you want to go down. If everyone you talk to says like they don't get it, you probably need to refine your pitch. It's probably not clear. Maybe you're using jargon that's industry specific that people don't get. Maybe it's truly a problem just you have and nobody else has. That's typically not the case. And maybe you're telling the wrong people about it. I think that's kind of another thing, is you might be telling people that are all men about a product that's geared towards women. So change the people that you're asking about or telling this about.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we're all about following your passions. We encourage people to do it responsibly.
Yeah.
Like not just quit your day job and decide you're going to be a sculptor and,
yeah,
have no money in the bank. But it's interesting to think about the concept of like when do you give up on that idea? When do you have to face the reality that the idea might not be a profitable venture?
Yeah. And some of those decisions, have to be specific to what your own goals are. We say the same thing. Don't quit your day job until you know you have a good idea out there, until you know there's interest in the market. One of our favorite campaigns, and also personally favorite of mine because she's my cousin, is a woman named Mallory Sweetbaum, and she worked full time and started doing jewelry on the side at night, and then she started selling jewelry online. Like first kind of started at farmers markets, craft fairs, then online she started selling it. And then at one point she said, like, I can no longer do my job in this. I've been doing this for long enough that I know what I'm doing in revenue every month. I know that I can take it this leap. Did that for about a year, just selling jewelry. She sold in a bunch of stores in the DC area. And then maybe like 2 years ago, she opened up a store in DC, that there was enough demand for her products and then other female-owned jewelry products that she sold in her store, that she opened up a store. And she did a crowdfunding campaign on iFundWomen for that storefront. She had been building up her business so long that it wasn't like out of nowhere she launched this storefront and people said, "Oh, Mallory, I thought she worked in like communications and now she's doing this." They knew who she was. They'd seen her product. They'd seen like her marketing. And that's like a perfect example of someone really, taking a longer strategic path before launching so that you really have time to build up an audience and engage with people.
Right.
We're getting lots of comments saying great advice, excellent tips, very interesting. So thank you for
Oh, I'm so
sharing all
glad to hear that, and happy to answer any questions if people have questions. I always think it's engaging to hear what people have to say about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And really, this is a great resource. Kate is very, very knowledgeable, as you can see. So any questions you have for her, whether you have a business already or are thinking of one, we know some people on here are artisans who, are handcrafting, like crochet work, which, when you're doing something by hand, and you're putting love and effort into it, it's hard to scale a business from that, So I don't know if that's something you face, Kate, like do you have a lot of artisans or do they tend to be more manufactured products?
Yeah. So it really runs the gamut on iFundWomen. We're completely topic agnostic. There's not one type of business that's the most popular on iFundWomen. We actually have quite a bit of business services. People coming to iFundWomen with a business that is not a physical product. But what we know is that iFundWomen can help with capital, but it can also help with coaching. And if you're an artisan, you might be really good at making coasters, let's say, to put your drinks on. But you're not good at marketing, or you're not good at financial planning, or you're not good at communicating or leadership or things like that. You're like, not one person is good at everything. And what we view like our coaching program as is it's an opportunity to have like a board of advisors, to have co-founders, to have like staff, even though it's their coaches, to help you in the areas that you need help with. And our coaching program is meant to pair you up with a specific coach based on what your need state is for that call. So it's not specific to like, you're not just getting paired with one coach who isn't going to have the expertise in every area you want. Each call is intended to be with a different person so that you hear a lot of different voices and you are paired with someone that has expertise in that area. And I think that's really powerful, is knowing what are you really good at and what do you like doing and what are the areas where you don't like doing it, you're not good at it, you need help. That's where you want to bring in and pay somebody to do that. And I think and sometimes is a hard thing to realize, like, oh, I have to pay somebody to do this, but it is the best way to really scale what it is you're doing without having to hire somebody.
Right. This is an interesting question from Rashida. She says, some things are seen as taboo. My sister and I are starting a cannabis transportation business in Illinois. Are there restrictions to what iFundWomen will allow as a crowdfunding campaign?
Yeah, there are, and the restrictions are enforced by our payment processors, which are Stripe and PayPal. They have really strict guidelines and restrictions on cannabis companies, which is unfortunate, and it's state by state. But that is how every transaction goes through, and they really do their due diligence. Is why we've partnered with them, but we definitely know that that's an area that is right for somebody to take advantage of, because a lot of those businesses need funding opportunities.
Well, hopefully that will change.
It's
interesting. I've never heard of a cannabis transportation business. I'm curious, Rashida, what that is exactly. That's cool. I'd like to know more about that. We also have a question from Lisa, which is something we should, definitely make sure everybody understands is, so you sign up for iFundWomen. How do you actually use the platform?
Yeah, that's great. So you can use it in different ways. You can use it as an entrepreneur. You can use it to start a crowdfunding campaign. and to start raising capital for your business. You can also use it as a coaching platform to get coaching that you need to accelerate the growth. It's all in one place. You can use it as a funder, someone who wants to find female entrepreneurs in different industries and support what they're doing. So you can use it in any of those ways to really both support female entrepreneurs and get the funding and tools and resources that you yourself as a female entrepreneur, and I don't know if you are, but let's assume that you are, need to grow your business.
And you said, you keep talking about the pitch call. So is that for everybody, or is that if you sign up for the coaching?
That's if you sign up for the coaching. But we have a ton of free resources. Like every week we have a webinar on Thursday at 1 p.m. where we talk about really what is crowdfunding. We have a free e-course that's 2 hours long. That's everything you need to know about getting started. We have a whole crowdfunding guidebook. There are a lot of resources, and it depends on the kind of person you are. Some people say, I'm a really good self-starter. I don't need help. I can go through this by myself. And other people say, you know what? I've read through all your resources, and what I need is someone to listen to my pitch or hear me out, give me marketing language, or help me build up my socials. That's where you want to bring in somebody else to really help you through that.
And what's the pricing on the coaching part of it?
So it's monthly or annual coaching. So you can sign up either to have a coach that you say, you know what, I just need a coach for 2 months, and that's $199 a month, or the annual plan is $14.99 for the year. So it ends up being way cheaper on a monthly level versus on an annual level versus a monthly level.
Yes. So, and do you have to have a campaign going to?
No, we have many people who are just signing up for coaching because they need business coaching, and nobody is really meeting the needs at an affordable price of business coaching for female entrepreneurs, virtual, on your time frame, all of these things that we're really doing.
Right. And just in case people are as curious as we are, so Rashida is saying that they deliver cannabis flower and infused products from cultivation centers to testing facilities and dispensaries. They don't house any products, but they move products throughout Illinois. She says it's unfortunate she can't utilize iFundWomen to crowdfund, but she's definitely using the resources. So there's an example of someone.
And here's the thing: I would look into our terms and conditions. It's what I know is that payment processors get skittish with anything cannabis in the title because it's hard for them to know the different levels, and we're not the decision makers there. It's the payment processing companies.
Right. So interesting. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Just looking, some of the people who are listening today are actually subscribers to the Passionistas Project subscription box, and iFundWomen was really generous in our spring box, which is sold out. They gave everyone 1 month of free business coaching, which, Kate, we're eternally grateful for you doing that. People were so excited when they opened the boxes and they saw that. So we had wanted to just make sure that we acknowledge our subscribers and thank them for subscribing.
Yes.
And we had a few bullet points that we specifically said we'd talk to you about. I just want to make sure we're hitting on all of them. We talked a bit about the climate for funding for women, but can you talk about some of those disappointing statistics and whether there's any hope in new numbers coming out?
Yeah. I think that COVID will knock a lot of things on its head. And I think that that'll be really positive. But I think, as we know, the statistics of venture capital funding for female entrepreneurs is somewhere from 2 to 3%. Those are the dollars that women get. The rest are allocated to men, which is unfortunate. And I think it's a systemic problem. It shows that the people making decisions are investing in people that remind them of themselves. And I see this every single day. And when I talk to women on the phone and they tell me their ideas, I can immediately understand it. And not all of them, not every woman on iFundWomen has an idea that's geared towards women. And not by a long shot. But there are a lot of women who say, oh, I have this idea we had this one woman who had a cooler that allowed you to store your breast milk in. And it was like a really nice looking cooler, more like a Swell water bottle. And the problem she was solving is if you're a pumping mom at work, putting your breast milk in the refrigerator is just like a weird experience. And I'd gone through that and totally understood what she was doing. So when she was telling me about it, I was like, oh yeah, totally, I get it. Like, that's great. And that's definitely solving a problem that exists. If you pitch that to someone who's never had kids, who's never pumped at work, any man, they just wouldn't understand it. They would say, like, there's no problem there. I don't see why that is. Why couldn't you just put it in a cooler? What's that like? There are so many ideas like that are important. I spoke to a woman the other day who has such a cool company that is geared towards women with eczema. It's skin products for women with eczema and with skin conditions. And she's very much trying to do what like Billy Razors did for hair loss. So if you think of all shaving commercials, they're women shaving legs that have no hair on them and basically hairless bodies. And Billy Razors, like if you look at their advertising at all, it is like shaving legs that have hair on them and underarms that have hair on them and bikini lines that have hair on them. And you look at them and you're like, that's what my body looks like. That's what I am shaving because there's hair that exists that I'm trying to do away with. And so she's trying to do the same thing of their advertising campaign is like women, it's not acne stuff that you put on and women have flawless skin. It's putting cream on skin that might be rough or might have, acne on it or might have any skin condition. And she said she showed it to some male investors and they said, like, why would anybody want to look at this? Like, it's gross. But not gross if it's the problem that you have and you can see yourself there and therefore you are connecting and want to invest or purchase something where you see the person looking like you.
Right.
And so I think that, and I don't fault anybody for that. I think that sometimes like it takes a lot of education and curiosity to be interested in specific problems that other people have. Like I can't pretend that I know every problem that every person, all over the world has.
Right.
But I think that the problems that I think that it's a larger problem that women aren't getting funded. So what we see is that let's do it ourselves. Let's support each other. Maybe we're not writing millions of dollars of checks, but maybe we're awesome women like Andrea Mullen, my friend from Victory PR, who gave iFundWomen $10,000 to give away to female entrepreneurs. Is that millions of dollars? No. But most of the women on our platform need like $1,000 or $2,000 to get their business off the ground. And that's powerful. And making investments like that, and hers was not an investment in terms of like a return on that she would get in a return, but making those investments really are going to pay off on what the landscape looks like. And if we don't have women at the top making decisions, there aren't going to be, there's just going to be like a gap for people at the bottom.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, we watched Shark Tank religiously, and there was a pitch the other day where this guy walked in, he had the perfect product for Laurie. I don't know if you watched the show, but it was like, oh, Laurie's going to scoop this up.
Yeah.
And she's like the queen of QVC. She is a brilliant businesswoman. She has more patents probably than anybody on the planet. And as he was pitching it, he never made eye contact with her. And at one point, she kept trying to ask him questions, and he kept talking through it. And everybody went out, all the other sharks went out, and everybody turned to her, and she was like, you didn't make eye contact with me. And he was like, what? She was like, you didn't even look at me. And it was really clear that it was because she was a woman. Like, the dynamic of it was so clear. And it was like, this is a woman of experience and power, and people around the world respect her, and she's being treated this way in this situation, So it's good that we have, and the other, one of the other guys on the panel, his response to her saying, you didn't look me in the eye, the guy sitting next to her said, well, he was looking at your dress. It was just like, okay, this is why we need to get
You're like, just stop, please.
Yeah. Like, this is why we need to build a community of women who are supporting each other, who are helping each other grow their businesses, supporting each other, because there's no way in hell anybody would have said that.
Well, we also
Yeah.
know that there is like, and we see this with our audience, women can be more comfortable around women sometimes, more open, more honest, more like, we just see it. We see our audiences are drawn to each other. And I think that that is a powerful thing. And I think that probably exists because you feel more comfortable talking to someone that you know, that looks like you, that reminds you of yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. You guys were doing events back when people did events. We know you were involved in some things. Do you have any virtual events planned, kind of bigger things planned?
Yeah, so iFundWomen was never in the event production industry. We just spoke at so many events. And so all of our events were all virtual that we put on, which are like live workshops. So that's continued exactly as is. We're continuing to participate in live events, but we've never been in that space. And it's interesting. Our audience has asked us quite a bit, like, when are you guys putting on a conference, or when are you guys putting on this? And I think this is showing us, like, I'm so glad that we never went down that like avenue. But we like to sit at events and enjoy them and not have not be having to put them on.
Yeah. It's a lot
What
of
do you
work.
think is the biggest success story iFundWomen has had?
Like, I would like to say that it's campaigns. Like, we had the Coven, which was a co-working space out of Minneapolis that raised $300K, and Luminary, another co-working space, raised $300K. So, like, the big dollar amount ones are big. But I love all of the women that we have that raise $5,000 for their business, and that's all they need. And $5,000 for them is like $1 million. I think that that's really powerful. And those stories aren't glamorous and they don't get press, but it's powerful. And those are dollars kept in communities, and being able to provide food on the table. That's really huge. We've had awesome partnerships with brands like Adidas, where we've created opportunities for women who are starting sporting focused campaigns, anything to do with athletics. It's really cool to see like all the different like great ideas people have. But I do love the campaigns that are, not super sexy and super glamorous, but are raising capital to keep their business going and move forward, and putting in contributions they got from passing the hat at church. Like, that feels so awesome.
You told us a story when we interviewed you about a dance school.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell that story?
Yeah.
I love that story.
So this is a woman from Nashville, Lauren Beasley, who started a crowdfunding campaign on iFundWomen for a dance camp for kids with special needs. So there are all sorts of like activities for kids that don't have special needs, but she wanted to create something for kids with special needs. Her goal was $10,000, and she hit it in one day, or like 2 days. And it just showed that like nobody was speaking to this audience. And if you have time now, just write quickly, like follow her on Instagram. It's called Move, MOVE, Inclusive Dance. So then, 6 months had gone by, and her audience said like, a dance camp for a week is fun in the summer, but it's not including enough kids. Like, it's not meeting the needs that all of us have. Parents of kids with special needs have. Can you open up a dance studio? She was like, yes, but it's going to cost about $100,000. So she started a crowdfunding campaign again on iFundWomen. Again, lots of traction. She raised about $45,000. She was a coaching client of iFundWomen and had kind of been in our had been getting coached for a long period of time. When she was doing her network map, which is to help her figure out who's in my network, who could I possibly reach out to about this, as kind of like a dream list, like maybe like a Shark Tank type person. She put on the founder of Pure Bar Yoga, a woman named Carrie Dorr, and said like she was herself a teacher, and thought maybe I'll just reach out to her. So she reached out to her, thinking like maybe she'd give like $500. She had, at this point, Lauren had raised $50,000, and Carrie Dorr said, I love your campaign. Fly out to Denver, and I want to hear more about it. So Lauren flew out, and Carrie Dorr wrote her a check for $50K. So, and why did she do that? Because she was able to see the traction of what Lauren had done first, right? It wasn't just like right, like support me, but I have nothing. I've done nothing. She had this great story, this great traction. The need was so clearly there. And it's really powerful to see like that investment get people like really help this dance studio to exist.
It's a great story.
Love it.
I want to thank some of the people. I can't thank everybody that's on, but Lisa and Aileen and Sarah, you know, you and Rashida, you guys have been great. We really grateful that you're all here today, and I hope you're soaking this all up. I want to post, somebody posted, is it iFundWomen.com?
Yes.
And it is. So definitely go and check that out when you're done. When we're done, don't go yet. Stand by. Can you talk a little bit about the iFund Women of Color initiative?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's an initiative we did with Unilever, and they wanted to support women of color because women in general have abysmal rates when it comes to fundraising. Women of color's rates are even more abysmal. And they wanted to help accelerate their growth by providing them with free coaching on iFundWomen to help them even get more resources that they need to be successful. And we're proud to announce that, and we're really proud to partner with Unilever on that.
You mentioned the grants that are, the applications closed tomorrow. How difficult is the application process? Could someone still get through it?
Totally. Yep. It takes about 20 minutes. In general, anytime you're filling out an application, do it from your computer, not your phone. We hear people like, oh, like I was doing it halfway through, like and same with like government grants, all of this stuff. Do it with your computer. What we definitely recommend doing is when you go to fill out the grant application, there's a playbook first that asks all the questions where you can write them down. We recommend writing all the longer questions down so that you can, if anything happens, like I just feel like I hear this all the time at 11:59 p.m. We're getting emails like, did it go through? I didn't go through. So write it down first so that you have all the information. That's kind of like the best thing to do. But you can definitely get it done between now and then.
Yeah.
Great. And for people who might have joined late, can you just talk a little bit more about what that specific grant is?
Yeah, so we partnered with Gingerbread Capital, which is a venture capital firm that focuses on women, to give away 10K grants to female entrepreneurs. So this is a great way to get capital that you need to grow your business. And they're looking for, they have a specific, like, they want a specific type of business. So you need to have employees and you need to have a certain amount of revenue. So the guidelines are on our website before. So make sure like you don't waste your time if you don't fit into the specific guidelines that they have. But it's really great to see a venture capital firm actually like putting their mouth where I can't think of what the analogy is, but supporting female entrepreneurs. It really is like powerful to see that happening and to see them keeping businesses alive.
That's awesome. It's critical right now.
Yeah.
So
really
many
critical.
people. Yeah. What's the average amount of money that people get in a campaign?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So across all crowdfunding platforms, it's a little bit shy of $1,000 for running a campaign. On iFundWomen, the average is about $5,000, and then for entrepreneurs that invest in our coaching, it's about $27,000 that they're raising. And we know, like, people say, why is that? It's that people who invest in themselves are going to do better. They're going to show up prepared. They're going to be more successful. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
Yeah. And we have a question: do different companies sponsor the grants?
Yeah, so yes, we've had a grant with Visa, with Adidas, Unilever, Gingerbread Capital. So yes, a lot of brands have. And then we also have iFundWomen also has our Pay It Forward grant, which is not sponsored by anybody.
That's great. And has this just been during COVID, or is grants been?
No, the grants have been going throughout, but there's obviously like a huge need for them now during COVID.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? As we're getting close to wrapping up, we want to make sure everybody's getting their questions in. Kate, what's your hope for the future of iFundWomen?
That's a great question. My hope for the future of iFundWomen is that we are the go-to place for female entrepreneurs to get funding for funders to fund them. We still find that our market has not considered crowdfunding in the levels in which we hope, and I think that COVID will really cause a push for that. Our hope is that corporate America will understand that they are going to need to chip in to keep businesses alive. The government is not going to be able to support the 30 million unemployed people. And there's going to have to be another way, and entrepreneurship is a way that a lot of people are going to move forward with this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, an amazing idea. I mean, just people we know, and even we've had to just like change direction so quickly. You know, I think amazing things come out of the necessity of being resourceful and having to do things a different way.
And I think it's a great thing that it's happening like that. I think that it's forcing innovation that would have taken decades otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now we all know that face mask. I saw a thing yesterday about the tritini. Have you heard about the tritini?
No, what is it?
It's a bikini with a matching face mask. So there's a new product that everybody needs to keep their eye out for. Not that I'm going to be putting a bikini on anytime soon.
Not with the extra COVID-19 pounds.
Exactly.
So somebody's asking about different guidelines, if there are different companies supporting grants, if they have different guidelines and different eligibility.
Mm-hmm. And they're all kind of specific to that company.
Yeah.
So each set of guidelines is listed on your site with the grants.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, when you open up each grant, you'll be able to see them.
Excellent. And again, the website is iFundWomen.com.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to start a campaign to use it. You can take advantage of the resources, the coaching. There's so many great things. And like what we're doing, there's a community that you've built that just seems amazing, and like something a lot of women in this group and the women we know could really take advantage of during this time, and in general, but especially during this time.
Yeah, I think all of those, that's exactly true. And what we know is like you might have great friends, but your friends don't know what it's like to be a small business. So what we want, or to, be an entrepreneur, or the specific areas that you have. So we want to, have women that are matched with other women at the same stage in their business.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing better than having someone that you can talk to that gets exactly what you're going through.
Exactly, yeah. And can really help you. Like I think we all have different friends that we use for like different needs. And having someone who knows what your business is, knows kind of where you are in the process, can say like, oh my gosh, I messed up with the biggest thing. Like, do not do this, or this is the best company to use. Like, those things are so valuable.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
It's like having a mommy me group, and your business is your baby.
You're exactly right. I like that analogy.
That's good. All right. Any more questions?
I think we're good. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Of course, most importantly, thank you, Kate.
Yeah, thank you, Kate, so
pleasure.
much for giving up your time in this hectic time we're going through. We also want to thank all of you for listening. We want to thank everyone who entered our giveaway and our trivia last week. The prizes are going out. The giveaway winners will get their boxes in June when all the other boxes go out. We are countdown 39 members away from hitting 1,000. So if you know anyone who wants to join the group, please invite them, because we'd love to hit our mark of 1,000.
Like Gail did last week.
Yeah, that was great when Gail did that.
Great group members. She invited a ton of people, and a lot of them joined. So every invitation you can send out really helps us out. Our COVID shutdown goal was 1,000 members.
Yeah. And then coming up,
telethon Timpani, please.
Coming up Thursday is Laura Ann Mistura from Laura Ann's Jams. and she's going to show us how to make cocktails with her homemade jam. So that'll be interesting. And then on Tuesday, we have
a great story about her. Her company came to be
yes.
from, it was almost an accident how she became a huge jam.
Yeah, six-figure jam maker.
Yeah, yeah.
And then next Tuesday, we have Annette Corsino Blair from the LA Knitting Tree, and she's going to teach us how to knit, which ought to be humorous, if nothing else. Jamie and I are not very good at that kind of thing.
Kathy and Hodeli moment.
Yeah. We might need to drink the jam cocktails while we're knitting. It might help. And just a reminder to check out our podcast, subscribe. We could really use some subscribers, get our numbers up. And just thank you again, Kate, for joining us. Everybody check out iFundWomen.com. And we'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay home, stay healthy, and stay passionate. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.